Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach. Today we have with us Sariah Bronson, who's the CEO of Silver Pro Solutions. Sariah, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mike. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking with you as well because I always key in on words. And words jump out at you, and the word solution always is a great one because that connotates that there's a problem and now you have solved it. So I want to hear all about what you do and how you do it. But get us started first with your little bit of your story and background and how did you get into the industry?
Great, thanks. I would love to share. I like to call myself an accidental entrepreneur. I was working in the solar industry as a procurement manager, and it was a lot of really hard work, long days of 60-hour weeks, and I just wanted to be home with my kids so bad. I never dreamed of being stuck on site so much and working so much from home, away from home. And I ended up taking leave for a pregnancy, and I asked the company to work from home, and they didn't want me to work from home. So we parted ways. And long story short, I had people reach out to me that knew the things that I was good at, and they were like, "Hey, you were helping them. Could you help us instead?" And I took a job at home working, and it was just supposed to be a job for me. Um, once I once I started working from home, though, I had more and more people reach out, and all of a sudden I was hiring people, and I was not just a job for myself, and I was here helping more people than I possibly could have imagined.
Yeah, that's a lot of times that's the way things work out. When you do a good job, word gets around. So that's really powerful. So, what specifically are you doing to serve your clients? You kind of you're a business efficiency expert. Tell us a little bit about what that is.
Great. I serve my clients by helping them in the back office of their businesses. So we're really strong in the financial department and the operational department of businesses. We love to come into them and really fill in, see where they're bleeding, where their cracks are, just the things that as business owners we're juggling a lot of balls and they need caught. So we come in and we help in the finance area with gaining clarity on their numbers. What are they really spending? Are they reporting and pulling in everything where they need, and really clean up their bookkeeping and just their systems and processes there so that they can come from a business mindset of stress and anxiety and I don't know if I can afford that, to having a budget, knowing exactly where they can spend and what they can spend. And then we love to focus on the HR side of it and the operations and their people, and bringing, businesses thrive by the people that work there and serve. And so if they're not serving the people that function in their own business, then they can't serve their clients as well. So we love to get into HR and the life cycle of the employee and their hiring process, and really they're keeping them there and having them be happy employees.
It kind of sounds like one piece impacts the other piece, and if you handle it right, then there's a exponential effect, and if you handle it wrong, then there's a negative domino effect.
Exactly. I think that sums it up beautifully.
Okay, well, great talking to you. Have a nice day. Bye. No, so talk a little bit more about that alignment because I think that what I just kind of observed, summarize what you said, really ties into the word alignment. How does that alignment over urgency really play out? Because I feel like a lot of people react and go, "Ooh, this is a problem. We fix it," and then they move to the next thing versus responding and going, "Okay, we kind of had a plan for that. Let's go ahead and make sure." And they move ahead. So I think alignment and urgency is a pretty big thing.
Yeah, I think that sums up an early business owner's experience a lot. The more people I talk to, it's that constant putting out fire, being reactive. And when we come in, we help them go from that reactive to aligning what is really important. Why did they really start this business? What do they really want from it? A lot of the times it's something that they love doing, but they're not loving it anymore because it's just putting out fire after fire after fire. And they want to get back to what they're really good at and the fun things. And And without the systems and processes to support that, whether it be on the employee side and the operations or the finance side and the clarity that comes with it, it just really brings it all together. Like you said, it's like dominoes. Once they're all nicely lined up and functioning, the whole world works so much better.
Yeah. And I think that, when you were describing about, HR and operations and expenses and all that, that's a lot of facets in the business side of things, but how do you take that alignment over urgency and apply it to both the business and the personal life of the owner? Because I think that, sometimes we feel like, we come home from work from a stressful day and that negatively overflows onto the family, or you have a family thing going on and that negatively overflows into the business. So how does that balance work?
I'm glad you asked because that's probably one of my favorite parts is helping the business owner clearly set some boundaries. First of all, a lot of the times they take work home with them, and that's where it spills over. They're like, "I'm home, but I'm actually still working on all of these things." And I think,
Hmm.
unlike an employee where it's like, "Well, I worked at 8 to 5, and when I'm home, I'm home," and helping the business owner really set those boundaries of like, what do I want? Where do I need to show up? And how can I take, like, the first thing we want to do is take some things off their plate. They don't value their time enough, and what should they really be doing versus what they shouldn't be doing. And as soon as you start taking things off their plate that they really could have someone else do, and they just don't see the pathway on how to delegate properly to have those things. Because I think one of the business owners' favorite things that I hear all the time is, well, if I don't do it, it's not going to get done right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. And I feel like that is not a lesson you learn on Monday and Tuesday you figured it out and on Wednesday it's working perfectly fine.
Amen to that. Amen to that. No,
I
I
mean,
think it's a constant revolving, like, okay, we got to learn, we got to follow, we got to process and make it happen.
yeah. What are some of the things that you're training your clients on to make sure that they are tracking that to make sure it happens? And some of those metrics and red flags that could crop up.
Yeah, so the first thing that we're super heavy on is delegation. Like, there are so many
Mm-hmm.
times that they'll be like, well, I gave it to them, but people's process of delegating is so crazy and not helpful to employees. Employees are like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And
Yeah.
then the business owner is like, I told them exactly, and I said this and this and this, and I said it like 5 times.
Yeah.
And so our we really focus on that delegation process, and I always tell the business owner, and like, this is your fault, not the employees. You're the bad delegator.
Yeah.
And so I believe in a 4-step process in teaching this delegation. And the first step is that the business owner has to do it themselves, and they have to do it themselves multiple times, and we need to record it, and we need to, whether it's video, well, I believe in video and paper and pictures and all of the things on the process that needs done. And then when they're ready and they feel like they have all the facets for this delegation of this task, then we actually are going to do it with whoever they're passing off for like a week or like five
Yeah.
times, or depending on the process. We're going to do it together. Not just like, here's this thing, go do this. I told you all the things you need to do. Have fun. It's an actual, like, there's step-by-step processes, there's videos, there's pictures, there's all the things, and you're gonna do it together. So that's step 2, is doing it together. And then once you've done it together enough times, then you're going to sit back and watch them do it by themselves. And when that's the third step. And the fourth step is when you finally say, okay, here you go, spread your wings.
It when I'm hearing you say that, the thought crosses my mind, man alive, that's a lot of steps. But I would venture to say is if you don't have the time to do it right the first time, when are you going to find the time to fix it when it was done wrong?
Exactly. I love that. That's exactly. I'm always like, you you gave it to them, and how many hours have you gone either with all the questions they come back with and all the things that you didn't see, and then it's done wrong, and then you tell them to fix it, and then it's done wrong again, and it's the same process, but by the time you're done, you're happy and they're happy, and it was beautiful and fun and rewarding for everyone. And the other one, you might hate each other and not want to work
Yeah.
together anymore.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. And also the thing that needs to be remembered is the fact that if you do go through those steps and you do the check and verify and re-verify all of those things, it's just you do it once and maybe twice, and then it runs like a well-oiled machine because it's doing what it needs to be done. Is that an
Exactly.
accurate assessment?
That's very accurate. I love your term, a well-oiled machine. Um,
Yeah, hopefully. All right.
I think
We can
when you
hope.
have all of those systems in place and all of those processes, it will run way more smoothly than when
Yeah.
you're just like, here, have this thing that I haven't finished fleshing out and figure it out. There are some people that can catch those kind of vaults, but they are very few.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the mistakes that you see people making when you start working with someone for the first time and you come in and you do like your 30,000 foot overview and you're diving in. What are some of the things you're looking for first to fix the quickest?
All right. So I'll do this in two different facets. We'll do this on the financial side and then the operational. So financially, the first biggest thing is like, are they running off their bank account or are they running off their budget and their accounting system that shows everything, and if
Hmm.
they're running off their bank account and just like, well, there's money in the bank, let's use it, then you know right away that they're
Yeah.
not financially sound. They're flying by the seat of their pants, and there's just that anxiousness every day of like opening up the bank account. Is there enough money? Am I going to be okay today? Can I run payroll? Can I buy that thing that I need?
Yeah.
And so that's the big first one that we're looking for there. And then from the financial, we move into their products and their services. Are they really charging enough? Are they profitable on what they're charging? Or are they just throwing out the average of what is out there based on what other people pay? And so that they're not actually going to break even at the end of the year. And then go ahead.
I was just going to say that's an interesting point because you see that many times on Shark Tank, meaning, oh, you did 1.4 million last year. Amazing. Clap, clap, clap. What was your profit? Oh, well, we lost 200,000. So it doesn't matter if you brought in 1.4 if you're losing money. And I know that there's some exceptions like, oh, well, we bought 400,000 equipment. And so on paper, we lost money, but we're cash flow positive. But still, most people go, look at that campaign. I brought in $1,000 in the campaign, but you had to spend $1,500 to do it. So you have to know those numbers.
Exactly. And if they don't have clarity there, then they're really like, what's the point of having a business to drown in it?
Yeah.
Businesses are here to be profitable so that the employees and the customers and the business owner, so everybody's happy. If a business isn't profitable, there's no point in having it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what's another mistake that you're seeing?
So on the operational side, the biggest thing is are there SOPs, so standard operating procedures, and if they have the employees, are the employees happy and flowing smoothly in their roles? Because the first touch points with the employees when you send out that hiring ad and they first contact with your employee. And if that's a bad touch point, it's downhill from there.
Yeah.
um and you've just like you've already lost. It's a losing battle from there. And so we go from the very start, seeing how they're bringing them on and in and onboarding in those first crucial 90 days with that new person. um because if the employees don't have a good opinion of the business, they're not going to transition that over to the customers well at all.
Hmm. That's great.
And
So,
so that's our
so,
biggest flag there.
I think that's a really good one. I think that's really good. And I'll say it again, but it's almost like that domino effect. You don't just take that one point, the big red flag or the misconception or the mistake at face value and go, okay, yeah, I get that. No, really get it and understand that if you don't do it the right way, it's going to have repercussions way down the line.
Exactly.
So then think about now or comment on what are some of the easy shifts that people need to create to make the biggest transformation to address these issues that we're talking about.
So I feel like the biggest mind shift sets that the business owner needs to make regarding the finances is that they can have clarity. It is possible to have numbers and it to not be hard. Like it doesn't have to be moving mountains to have clarity on their numbers. It is simple changes, little habits here and there that we slowly build on, that they will be able to just flow through easily once they get there. And I think a lot of times they just look at it and they say, it's surviving. I don't need to put that fire out yet.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you put your head in the sand, that's a really big mistake there, because typically problems don't go away and you need to address them for sure.
Right. And I think fixing some of on the financial and the operational side, these problems that we help that we help solve and we support them with, they just affect so many things. And so much,
Yeah,
like you said, when they go home in their personal life, things just change because they're like, oh, I don't need to stress about money. I'm paying myself. I have plenty for payroll. I know that we broke even this month. Like, we're great. And it changes the whole outlook on everything.
right. Yes. I love it. Well, this has been really eye-opening, Sariah, and it's been neat to see how you serve your clients with passion and enthusiasm. If someone is interested in learning a little bit more and connecting with you, what's the best way that they can do that?
Yeah, so the best way to reach me is just to go to sariahbronson.com. You'll find a contact card there, and you can open up and just actually text me your number, or text me directly. And then I love to visit and meet new people and just see how I can connect with others.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a real pleasure chatting with you today.
Thank you for having me. It was really great to talk to you.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneursradio.com.